Okay then. Right, have you heard of the Campbell collaboration?
No, personally not.
No, well, it's an amalgamation of reviews from CCTV. It's basically come out and it's taken in, in a meta report where it takes in the overview of all the studies done beforehand. And it's basically come out and said CCTV has a negligible effect on crime. In fact, it will only reduce vehicle crime, things like break-ins, etc., but it will actually increase the amount of violent crime detected. So what are your thoughts on those matters, please?
Around cameras, those are issues that are taken in consultation with communities and with those individuals requesting them. My understanding is there are a number of retail agencies in that area that actually are requesting them. There are a number of members of the community who were requesting CCTV. What caused the bone of contention was, in inverted commas, these spy cameras, these covert cameras, which were not considered by those members of those communities to be appropriate. So I think the debate around the use of cameras, its effectiveness and others, have had its desirable effect even in the city of Birmingham. It has reduced crime. It's contributed to bringing reassurance to a number of people.
Not according to the latest reports.
Well, no, you're asking me for my opinion.
Okay.
I may not share the actual report's view, because I'm talking in an isolated situation where the report might be scanning across different divides. But in terms of do CCTV cameras play and have a role to play in a contribution towards the overall safety, reassurance of the public, it has a role to play. Yes, in my view it does.
Okay, and the funding for these cameras came from the Home Office Terror Fund. Yeah, when it came to the ground level, the community were told it's for local safety. That is a lie. Who made this lie and whose head should roll, please?
That is not a question for me. I don't know who allegedly made this lie, and my understanding was that the authority had never taken a position that this was for crime fighting. As far as the authority was concerned, the monies were given towards counter-terrorism, and that remains the case.
So why was the public told it was for community safety and local crime reduction?
I don't know. The authority did not engage in that conversation. That needs to be addressed to the service that did that.
Okay, so what's the position of Annie El-Patani in this? He doesn't seem to have been brought in at all. Annie El-Patani.
Whose position on this?
Well, what's his position? He doesn't seem to have been brought into anything, yet the report named him as quite a prominent factor.
No, but whose position on it did you ask?
What is his position following this?
You need to address that question to the Chief Constable.
Okay. And would you say that following this debacle that West Midlands Police Authority is fit for purpose following the Project Champion review?
Of course West Midlands Police Authority is fit for purpose. It's fit for purpose because it presides over policing throughout the West Midlands. Project Champions is one area of business that the police authority presided over. It's not its entirety as important as it is.
The authorities recently presided over 3.5 million plus more from all the reviews, etc., waste of public money, which can only pretty much be decided as a debacle. So how can you say that West Midlands Police are fit for purpose following that?
My position is West Midlands Police Authority is fit for purpose. The issue around Project Champions was open to a review, a Sarah Thornton review, and it was open to a Birmingham City scrutiny review. The findings of those are public. None of those findings questions the fit for purpose state. It questions processes, procedures, and whether or not regulations were used, but it has nothing to do with a fit for purpose. In this debate, people have differing views and one needs to respect that. My view is to represent the view of the authority. We are certainly fit for purpose, but we have enough humility to have learnt from the review that's carried out by the Sarah Thornton review.
Okay. And if there is any comeback of this in the future, will you be looking to hold the police, the Chief Constable of Police's recommendation for option 2 as your main decision for taking this to try and get the flack away from the authority?
I'm not too sure what you mean by that. The public have the right to question any aspect of a public decision. The authority remains open to discharge its duty in a responsible way to address any of the issues that may be asked. Hence why the thorough nature of the meeting this morning was not just about making a decision about removing the cameras, but it has said it requires a equalities and human rights impact assessment around that decision, and it also requires a cost analysis on what the consequences of that decision will be, and at the appropriate meeting to be called, it will take the appropriate decision with those things in place.
Okay, I was wondering if you'd just finally like to give me your thoughts on this quote from Benjamin Franklin. Democracy is two wolves and a sheep sitting around to decide what to have for dinner. Liberty is one well-armed sheep questioning the consensus.
I have no comment to make on it other than saying we had a thorough meeting today where good debate took place and a decision in principle in terms of how the authority sees the way going forward was delivered. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much for your time.
Pleasure.
Cheers.